What's up, YouTube? It's Bianca J, and I'm back with another word. And so the Lord has sent me here today, you guys, to deliver a word to you all from something that He had spoke to me last week, and then He began to give me more further revelation yesterday, right? And so the title of the word is titled "From a Bud to a Lily." That's the title the Lord gave me for this word yesterday. Okay, and so to whom this word is intended for the people whom this word is intended for, it was a season or seasons, and for some of you all it may seem like a lifetime, right, where the Lord had to do some stripping, right? The Lord had to lay you bare, right? He had to tear down all of the whitewash off of you, right? Okay, and so the scripture that He had given me was Ezekiel 13:14. And it says, "I will tear down the wall you have covered with whitewash, and will level it to the ground, so that the foundation will be laid bare." And so what the Lord is talking about as it pertains to that scripture, He's talking about Him condemning false prophets, right? For some of you all, you may have been under churches or pastors, or have been maybe following people who are false prophets, right? And so it had led you down a path where you were never intended to go, right? And so the Lord had to pull you back to Himself, right? And He had to lay you bare. He had to strip the worldly things off of you, right? He had to strip the false teachings off of you, right? He had to break and sever connections and ties that you were never meant to be in connection with, people who you were never meant to be in connection with, people who were never assigned to even be in your life. And so the Lord had to strip those things from you to the core, right? Because no longer would the Lord have you being connected to people, places, and things that no longer serve you, right? And for some of you all, this may look like things you may have learned in a house, teachings that you may have got inside of your home growing up. Like for some people, I know their households believe in superstition. You know, don't sweep the feet, don't break the mirror, you know, all of that type of stuff, which is all looked at as witchcraft to the Lord, right? And so the Lord had to remove that from you, right? He had to remove you from those people, places, and things. He had to remove that stuff from its core from you. He had to make sure that you unlearned all of the wrong things, so that He can use you for His purpose, right? We all know that the Lord's purpose always prevails, right? And so in all of that, you had, like I said, you went through cycles, you went through seasons where like the Lord was just stripping things off of you. And so the Lord ended up giving me the analogy, right, about a budded flower to a lily. And so let's just go over the whole flower process. So we know that when you are planting flowers, right, you have to sow the seeds, right? Plant the seeds into the soil, into the foundation. And so then next you have to start watering those seeds, right? So this is the Lord pouring into you. And then next it'll begin to, well, you also have to give it sunlight, right? So the Lord had to shine His light on you, right? And so then next you begin to see it sprout. Okay, and so now as the flower is beginning to sprout, you still have to again water it some more, because now it's beginning to grow and you want it to reach its full potential. So now you're going to keep watering it, right? So this is the Lord continuing to pour into you, right? Okay, and then the flower is still requiring sunlight, so this is the Lord still shining His light in you, right? Okay, so then next is a bud. And so during the bud stage is preparation for the flower to bloom, right? For the flower to blossom, but it still requires a cycle, a season of being watered and light shined on it, right? So this is the Lord still watering you even as you have budded, right? You're almost to your full potential, but you're not quite ready yet. And so the Lord is still pouring into you, still watering you, still shining His light on you, right? And so now after you go through these cycles, now here comes spring, right? And this is where you spring forth. This is where you bloom and blossom into this beautiful flower, into this beautiful lily. Okay, and so that's the analogy that the Lord had given me. He also said that some of his children had experienced delay. And so what that delay may have looked like, okay, this is what the Lord had given me. If and so in the fall, let me just go there. So in the fall and winter, flowers, they go dormant, right? Where they're covered under snow, it's harsh weather, you know, it's snowstorms, storms coming, but the flower is in a dormant stage, right? It's in a resting stage. And so although it's going through the harsh weather, the different changes in temperatures, the different changes in the climate, the flower is still resting, right? It's still resting. So that's you resting in the Lord. Even though you may have been through a few storms, even though you've been through harsh weather, even though the climates were changing rapidly, right? And you just still rested in the Lord. It may have been things that have been coming your way relentlessly, right? And so the Lord is saying, even though you've been through all of that, you rested in him. And he know to you it may look like progress was not being made, but the Lord is saying that it was. So even in the dormant stage where the flower is resting, it still is preparing the flower. The flower is still getting the nourishment it needs to spring forth and blossom in the spring. Okay, and so now it springs forth, right? So now it's the time where the flower is getting ready to bloom again. For those of you who have been in that budding season, you're getting ready to bloom. For those of you who have been in your dormant season, you're getting ready to bloom. It is springtime, and now it springs forth. You are blossoming into a beautiful flower. You are coming out of the dormant, aka the delay. You are coming out of the dormant phase. You are coming out of those cycles, those seasons, right? Because the seasons have changed, right? You have completed those cycles, you have completed the process, and so now you're getting ready to bloom into a beautiful flower, bloom into a beautiful lily. And so the Lord had shown me a white lily, right? And so this white lily, it was really beautiful. I seen it go from a bud to a beautiful white lily. And so we know that white represents purity, right? Wholeness. And so the Lord is saying this is a new beginning for you, right? And so this is where you see it spring forth. This is where you see the promises come to pass. And so the Lord is saying, although it may have tarried for a while, the vision was yet for a appointed time. That's Habakkuk 2:3. I know I'm quoting it out of order, but you know what? Let me go read the scripture to you verbatim. Okay, so Habakkuk 2:3 says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And so the Lord is saying, welcome to the appointed time. This is the blooming season. This is where you see it come to pass. This is where it springs forth, right? And so this is where you receive your inheritance. You have completed your process. You have went through the cycles. The Lord has removed you from that whitewash. He has removed you from those worldly things. He has removed you from those false prophets that were misteaching his people. He has stripped you from all of those things, and now you are ready to bloom. And for a season, the Lord had sent you into exile, right? And to go into exile in Hebrew, the word meant gala, right? And so gala meant to lay bare, it meant to expose, it meant to reveal, it meant to uncover, right? And so the Lord is saying he had to do these things to reveal to you the whitewash, right? He had to do these things to uncover the hidden things that you did not see. He had to reveal to you the things that you had been mistaught since childhood. So he had to tear those things from you to its core to rebuild rebuild you, right? To rebuild you to rebuild you to be who he called you to be for his purpose, right? All of those false teachings he had to remove. All those things you learned that you thought were right that were really wrong, the Lord removed them from you. And so it took some breaking. It took some cycles. It took some seasons. It may even seem like it had been a lifetime, but it was for God's purpose. And like I said, God's purpose always prevails. And so this is the season where you are getting ready to bloom. This is the season where you're going from the bud to a beautiful lily. This is the season where you're coming out of the dormant stage and you are blooming into a beautiful flower. And so you guys, I just wanted to make sure that I came and brought this word today. And so until my next video, you guys, stay focused and be blessed, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.